Now for our first story. The Ministry for Works and Housing has accused contractors working on the Saglemi housing unit of misappropriating over $129 million in the construction of some 141,000 housing units out of the 5,000 expected. The contractors Constructoria OAS Ghana Limited have, in a letter cited by JoyNews, told the ministry it cannot continue with the project whilst demanding the refund of monies due them in tax waivers. But addressing a news conference on Wednesday, the Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachian said the government could not take over the facility until the Attorney General had advised.
Even before government properly terminates the contract, a number of investors have already shown interest in completing the project. That's according to the Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachian. He, however, noted that the investors have to wait.
We will not be able to take over the project unless we have the opinion of the Attorney General, who is the principal legal advisor to the government in terms of Article 88 of the Constitution. When we have the advice, we have our view as a ministry, but we have to defer to the Constitution and let the Attorney General advise. When we receive the advice, we know what to do. And very soon, certain things are in the background. There are a lot of investors who want to come and continue the projects, but they can't continue until the projects are properly assessed, what has been done, and then the legalities are in place for the contract to be terminated.
The minister also revealed that the contract, as approved by government, was altered by the then Sector Minister Collins Dauda without recourse to Parliament.
Parliament has approved that $200 million US, less some charges, should build 5,000 housing units. But something happened on the 27th of February 2014. Without parliamentary approval, the parties, that is my ministry representing the government of Ghana, and the contractor reviewed the original agreement and signed what they called first and restated agreement with Messias Constructoria OAS Ghana Limited to define the number of houses to be constructed. That is 1,502 housing units. The price of the contract sum remained the same, $200 million US. And this was a time of the minister called Honorable Collins Dauda. These are cold facts. So, as fate to have it, President Mahama lost power. We know that. And then on the 21st day of December 2016, 14 days after he lost power, the chief director of my ministry, One Alaji Zipline Yakubu, and the contractor reviewed the first amended a restated agreement and signed a second and restated agreement in which the scope of the works were reduced to 1,024 housing units. And it was said that the contract sum should come to $108,519 US.
Mr. Atachian maintains that the project shouldn't have stalled because every financial provision was made. He gives a breakdown of how the monies were spent as compared to the work done.
They come out with this June argument that, we are owed, we have to refund some tax. That's about a bare 2.6% of the amount. I want you to understand it because we don't want to joke with this issue. To whom much is given, much is also expected. The Bible says that. If you were blessed with any contractual undertaking and you have used 99.39%, of the contract sum, I'm afraid you have no excuse to complain why we can't see the 5,000 housing units on site there. The upshot is that the contractor has misappropriated the sum of 129,898,516.80 million United States dollars.
In the meantime, Ghanaians who want to acquire an apartment within the housing unit cannot do so because the minister says it's not habitable.
It is very clear that we do not have a sewage system in place. So I can't understand how any individual can go and live in a house where there is no sewage system. The taps are not running. There's no electricity. Some people will say that whose responsibility is that? They call it on-site infrastructure. Every on-site infrastructure is the work of the contractor.
Ernest Menu for JoyNews.
Fascinating details there. Now, some educationists have called on government to phase out the double-track SHS system by next year. Government introduced the system to absorb the high enrollment at the senior high schools following the introduction of free senior high school. Now, speaking during the launch of the Global Action Week for Education 2019, the chairman of the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition, Kofi Asare, says under the double-track system, the period students are made to stay at home and the large class sizes will continue to affect the quality of education. Ifwa Evans Chinnery has been learning more. Here's her report.
Some concerns raised during the launch was the need for all Ghanaian children to have access to quality early childhood development and primary development, and the need to expand infrastructure at the secondary level to accommodate the increase in numbers to phase out the double-track system. Chairman of the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition, Kofi Asare, says citizens must galvanize to keep government on track in taking decisions and developing policies.
The double-track system makes it possible for people who even get aggregate 59 to go to senior high school. So you have a class of low achievers and high academic achievers and one teacher teaching them. There are two options to that teacher. You either decide to go with the high achievers and move so that you're able to complete the curriculum as scheduled, or you move slowly with the entire class and you don't complete the curriculum. These are concerns teachers have raised. Apart from this, we all know that going to school for 40 days and going home and coming is quite disorientating. In fact, teachers have indicated that they spend about a week to give orientation to students whenever they return from the homes. So what we are saying is that every possible effort must be made by government to ensure that we don't enter next year with double tracks. Other than that, we will only deepen the existing divide in quality learning outcomes between public and private schools. As I mentioned, Ghanaians who have money are taking their children to private secondary schools and they are paying as much as 40,000 Ghana cedis. Everybody knows that the public system lacks quality. Let's not deepen that perception. Let's quickly phase out the double-track system and have a system where we can have reduced class sizes and we can have a more relaxed system for teachers to actually engage students in discussions and learning.
He says most of the policy interventions have always focused on access and tangible outputs rather than learning outcomes.
Of what benefit will we gain if our children go to school for about 15 years only to come out as illiterates? It doesn't make any sense. And so what we are saying is that if we are investing about 25% of the national budget in education and investing about 6% of GDP in education, probably the highest in Africa, we shouldn't be beating our chest with this. These are inputs. We should beat ourselves with the outcome. As a result of investing a quarter of your budget in education, what was the outcome? What was the outcome on literacy? What was the outcome on numeracy? And what was the outcome on making our children creative thinkers? These are the three cardinal objectives of our basic education system. And that is why we need to assess our progress on the basis of this, and not how many schools we built, not how many textbooks we provided, how much money we paid for teachers' allowances, and how many school uniforms provided. Not that.
There were also concerns that schools across the country are not disability friendly. The Global Action Week for Education is a flagship event of the global education movement, providing everyone campaigning the right to education. It was under the theme strengthening citizen participation and accountability in education management, a milestone for achieving SDG 4.
Moving on, the Ochehene Osagyefo Amoitiefo Opinion II says he will resist any attempt by individuals to thwart government intervention of extending healthcare services to hard-to-reach communities in Ghana. He was speaking at the official launch of Zipline's Medical Drone Center at Omaneko in Suhum in the Eastern region. The medical drone delivery service is expected to serve about 2,000 health facilities across the country at full capacity. There's more in the following reports.
The Omenako Drone Center in Suhum in the Eastern region is the first of 4 other facilities to be established in parts of the country. Speaking at the official launch of the center, the Ochehene Osagyefo Amoitiefo II warned not every Ghanaian will be happy with the introduction of the drones for medical supply, but he said he will resist any of such attempts, describing persons who work against the progress of the country as witches.
Machines, the drones, the technology are not going to do it by themselves. We need people who are going to be committed. That has been the problem of our country. Committed workforce, genuine, sincere people who work to make this thing work. There are people who are sitting here today who may be hearing us who will think, well, we're going to disrupt this by stealing the blood. The blood will never get to the table where the doctors need them. In this country, a whole drug warehouse in Tema disappeared. Let me say it in tree. Nia ompen kasuo biano oyinipa boni ebeifo. Adie say ya ebei onipa bi ebese no. Na iya makwan.
The Omenako Center in Suhum is expected to serve 500 health facilities in parts of Eastern, Ashanti, Volta and Greater Accra region. 3 other health facilities are expected to be ready by the end of this year. Here is CEO of Zipline International.
This partnership will be building 3 more distribution centers over the next 9 months, just like the one that we're at now. We're going to, by the end of this year, be serving almost 2,000 hospitals and health facilities, making this the largest commercial autonomous system of any kind anywhere in the world.
Here's Health Minister Kweku Ajiman Menu.
This will help save lives, decrease waste in the system, and increase healthcare access for more than 15 million people across the country.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Nsiasari, says the drones will not replace routine medical supply to health facilities. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia says efforts are being made to extend the universal health coverage to hard-to-reach areas.
We can now prevent the death of the mother in labor in these deprived areas who needs blood. We can now deliver critical medicine like snake serum to regional and district hospitals in the shortest possible time. I am personally excited because today Ghana joins other countries in using drone technology to deliver healthcare services. And we are also launching the biggest medical drone delivery system globally. That is the biggest in the world.
Zipline will be running at a capacity of 150 deliveries per day, scalable to 500 per day. The deliveries of about 150 medical supplies, which include blood products and vaccines among others, will serve about 2,000 health facilities across the country. For Joy News, Matilda Pamaga, Eastern Region.
Now, children and teachers of Agogo in Shiaeso Basic School in Ashanti Region who study in a dilapidated structure will soon see an end to their plight. MTN Ghana Foundation is funding the construction of a 6-unit classroom block, which is at the roofing stage, less than 3 months after work commenced. Now, the project consists of a library, staff common room and store. It follows a Joy News agenda story by Ohiming Teria, which highlighted the state of the old building and how occupants were exposed to danger. He visited the project site and filed this report.
Poor infrastructure put the lives of pupils and teachers of Ishaeso District Assembly Basic School in danger. Cracked walls, loose door flames, fallen ceiling and foul-smelling animal droppings remain their lot. Female students who trek to school in a nearby community are reportedly subjected to sexual abuse by nomadic herdsmen.
Children walking distances to Ananikum every day. One, they are exposed to harsh weather conditions, attacks of miscreants, cases of rape were so rampant. And then dropout rates, because these children could not afford walking about 6 months in. So if you have about 15 of them beginning JHS 1, by the time they get to JHS 3, you have a number less than 5 left. So we had a huge dropout rate.
MTN Ghana Foundation approved funding for the project to bring relief to students and their teachers. Workers are busily laying concrete blocks to prepare for roofing the structure, which consists of a library, staff common room and store. District Director of Education, Ernest Kojaferi, was incidentally at the site at the time of our visit.
We are so excited. In fact, it's just eventually a dream come true. We never imagined that such a big thing could be done within a space of less than 3 months. So we strongly believe, very optimistic, that in about 4 months, 5 months time, this project will be completed and handed over to Ghana Education Service for use, maybe come the next academic year. So we are very much excited, very much excited. It's unbelievable that such a big thing could be achieved within a short space of time.
Assemblyman for the area, Peter Abaji, says what began as a tale has become a reality.
When I first heard the news, I was doubting, but for now it has come to reality. So I'm much happy, and then I appreciate whatever MTN is to do for us.
Mr. Afari is hopeful enrollment and retention of students will improve upon completion of the project.
With this opportunity here, children will no longer walk distances, and so we believe that retention rate is going to be very high, and then completion rate will also as well be very high.
From Ishiaeso for Joy News, Ohiming Teria reports.
Well, that's where we bring the news to a close, but of course, the show has only just begun, right?
Yes, definitely. And we told you, we have many other relook into the related topical issues, especially going with our own hashtag, Bring Back Atadi Girls, which is giving us some indications. The police are saying one thing and the media speculations are also saying the other.
Yeah, of course, the Galamsey fight has reached a very interesting hurdle after the senior minister made some interesting comments in the United States. And of course, we want to understand what these comments mean. Ashawang, deportation, prosecution. We want to understand it all, and we'll at least get one aspect of it down today when we speak to Victor Bell. Stay tuned for that fascinating stuff. All for you on the AM show.